Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Rashi Goyal and I am pursuing BLLB from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies Dehradun. And currently I am a legal intern at Lexis & Company. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the recent case of Google versus Oracle. It's part 2 video. You can check my previous video for knowing about the introduction and background of the case. So in this video, I'll be talking about the rule of law involved, will compare India and the US, and what did the US Supreme Court says. So let's start with the rule of law that is involved. First is copyright. American copyright law states that in no case can copyright protection be afforded to any procedure, process, system or method of operations, which is exactly the reason that the copyrightability of APIs was disputed in the beginning. And it was only after the federal court adjudged that there was a creation of alternative expression in a computer program, and it did not therefore limit the number of ways it could be expressed as per the merger doctrine. This was what helped in the determination of the Java APIs that were unique enough to not to be precluded from the protection of copyright, leading to the copyrightability of the API becoming an undisputed fact of this case going further. Even the Supreme Court in its judgment assumed copyrightability and focused mostly on whether Google's use of data fell under fair use or not. And second, that was involved is fair use. This whole debate boils down to this doctrine used as a defense against the infringement, and as a defense it is a fairly strong one because it emerges from need for the protection of public interest and innovation. The American understanding and use of this doctrine stands on 4 factors. As per Article 17, the United States Copyright Law Section 107 talks about purpose and character of use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and substantiality of use, and market harm to copyrighted work. While each of these factors can't be taken at face value, the factorization of fair use does indeed heavily rely on just these 4 factors. In the present case, while adjudging Google's fair use of Oracle copyrighted material, the US Supreme Court concluded that Google used only what was necessary to allow the programmers to put their acquired talents to work in creating new and transformative works. Now let's talk about India versus US. The Indian understanding of copyrightability of computer programs and the doctrine of fair dealing that we follow as derived from the statutory provisions of the Copyright Act 1957. While computer programs come under the purview of the literary work for the definition of copyrights, its usage, the right attached to it, and the exceptions from the infringement are all distinct. If present case was filed in India and adjudged from the standpoint of Indian laws, Section 52 Clause 1 Subclause AB of the Copyright Act 1957 would have come into play, which provides that any action necessary to obtain essential information for interoperability with other programs by a lawful possessor, provided that such information is not otherwise readily available and shall not constitute any infringement of copyright. While Indian and American legal sensibilities on the matter of fair use may differ, but the final result of this battle would have essentially been the same in either jurisdictions. If Google's interoperability claim is to be focused upon that. Lastly, let's discuss what did the US Supreme Court say. Fair use is considered a mixed question of fact and law by the court in this judgment, and it is said that the nature of work at issue favors fair use, considering that the copyrighted lines are inherently invisible from the non-copyrightable idea in the API and therefore unlikely to undermine the copyright protection awarded to the computer programs. Concerning the purpose and the character of the use, the greater question, which is whether the use was transformative, that it does add something new with a further purpose or different character. And the court concluded that Google's purpose was to create task-based system for different computing environment for smartphones and to create a platform that would help achieve that objective. The court brings up the doctrine of de minimis while bringing the attention to the fact that 11,500 lines copied by Google form only 0.4% of the entire API library at issue, while in the same stating that the copied code amounts to virtually all declarings code that needed to perform hundreds of different tasks. With the fourth factor of market harm, the court was of the view that Google's Android was never a market substitute for Java, along with the fact that Oracle would also benefit from the re-implementation of Java's interface into different market. The court also noted that upholding the copyrightability in this case would risk causing creativity related to public harm. The distinction that the majority opinion creates between declaring code and implementing code is the first point of contention between the two opinions on the basis the declaring code is central to Java's business model, and that neither of the two can give more or less weightage while deciding upon the copyrightability. The interpretation awarded to transformative by the majority was disagreed upon by the minority for the reason that a transformation requires creative addition to the work, while in the present case it was mere a word-to-word copy on just to another platform. In deriving from the previous findings and that of the federal court, which stated that the portion copied by Google were technically the heart and soul of the subject matter, the minority argued that it leads to the copying being qualitatively substantial. On the fourth factor, the dissenting opinion focuses on the harm done to Oracle's business in direct response to the Google's action, and noted that just because Oracle was facing difficulties in the smartphone market does not mean that Google's action would have indirectly benefited them. Accordingly, the dissent is more logical and effectively sound one, and could possibly in the future pave way for the different interpretation of these laws, and may even overturn the judgment. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you like it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to let me know your feedback in the comment section. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.